Hello and welcome to the Kia's 2 Cents podcast. I am considering this to be an introductory episode, so if you have no idea who I am, you've never listened to anything I've done before, you've never read anything I've done before, or watched any videos that I've done before, this is the episode that you should start off with just so you can get to know a little bit about me and what this podcast is going to be about. It is called the Kia's 2 Cents podcast because I'm Kia and I'm going to be giving my 2 cents on pretty much whatever I want, and that's all you need to know. I'm just kidding. That's not all you need to know. What is the pretty much whatever I want stuff? I know that's probably what you are most interested in hearing, and that is TV, film, books, and so on and so forth. And my 2 cents doesn't just include opinions and thoughts. I do really enjoy giving analysis and doing different things like character breakdowns and development and analysis on that, full series of television show analysis, analyzing different things that I see in movies that I love to watch and that are new to the screen. So those are all the different types of things that you are going to be getting. Let me just give a little bit of background about myself. I will say that my love for the screen, television, and film actually started with a love for theater. When I was a freshman in high school, I took my very first acting class and continued on through all of the other grades. When I was a sophomore, I took my first cinematography class. When I was a junior, I took my first writing class, or creative writing class. So it was all starting out in high school, and then moved on after that and continued to take classes in school settings, outside of school settings, pretty much well into my adulthood up until the pandemic when everything got shut down and we couldn't be in public anymore. So I couldn't take any classes. And even then, even before then, I would pretty much study however I could. That meant watching and rewatching again. That meant getting into things like SAG conversations, like Paley Fest, Comic-Con panels, Hollywood roundtables with actors and writers and directors and all of these different people, and really listening to them talk about the craft and how they create and how they write and direct and the different things that they see. So pretty much from 9th grade until, well, probably the rest of my life, I've been and will be studying this craft of all of the things: theater, film, television, writing. And I think that is going to be the bulk of what I talk about, and also books, because now there have been more book to film adaptations. I also do just really like to read, so, and have for like my whole life. I'm a millennial, a 90s kid. I remember the Book It, the Pizza Hut. I was in there a lot getting my personal pan-sized pizza because of all the books that I read, and that has just continued on. Worlds have collided with a lot of book to screen adaptations, whether it be with movies or with television shows. And even if they're not going to get adapted, I just really enjoy reading and want to talk more about the books that I've read, especially when they don't have the adaptations, because when people usually find out that there is going to be some kind of adaptation, a lot of folks like to read the book beforehand, or when they find out after they've watched, they go back and read it. But I just want to talk about everything that I read, everything that I watch on the screen, small screen and the large screen. I will say that there is and more and whatever I want that's usually tacked on to the TV, film, books. With that is music. I grew up in a very musical family, and I've been in choirs and in band and played instruments and still play instruments and still sing. So if things happen that I have 2 cents on, then I will find a way to talk about that. I also am a sports fan. I know, just your regular old girl version of Troy Bolton here. I like to watch women's basketball, whether it's college, professional, WNBA, Unrivaled, whatever, 3-on-3, FIBA, America, I am consuming as much of it as I can. And it can be very exciting and a lot goes on and it's very fun. So if I have things to talk about and things to share on that front, I will. I also watch the NFL, and those are pretty much the only two sports. I am an Eagles fan. Go Birds. We won't talk about that anymore. If you know, you know. I'm currently recording this in December. So by the time this comes out, we still won't know who will be in the Super Bowl, but it's whatever. We've won. I've seen them win 2 in my lifetime, and that is 2 more than I ever thought. So there's that. So those are pretty much all of the things that you can look forward to hearing and watching if you're viewing this on YouTube. I will say right now, as a person who has a 9-to-5 job, that I am aiming to do 2 episodes a month. And that's me being very transparent. And hopefully there will be space that opens up in my schedule for there to be more. So obviously keep a lookout for that. Once a week is probably the most that it will ever get to. But right now, as I'm starting off, just 2 a month. So to wrap all of that up, if you want the too long didn't read, even though I don't think this is too long, my name is Kia. I'm here to give my 2 cents on all things TV, film, books, and more. And my 2 cents includes thoughts, opinions, analysis, breakdowns of all of the things. Now, the one thing that I need for you to do is to hit follow, hit subscribe, share this with people who you think would be interested in listening or viewing this podcast monthly. If there are episodes after this and you're not the first one listening to the very first installment, scroll down or go to my actual account and click on an episode that looks interesting to you and give it a watch, give it a listen, and hopefully you enjoy it and come back for more. And if not, find someone who will enjoy it and share it with them, and then they'll listen and come back for more. All right, that's all I have for you right now. See y'all later.